It's Motivation Monday, and this week we are taking you to a ranch in El Paso's Upper Valley. Therapeutic Horsemanship of El Paso is a busy place.
Whether you have a disability or not, riding a horse is an emotional bonding experience.
That concept is the thrust of therapeutic riding. The people who come here have a range of disabilities, but the volunteers here don't really see that, and neither do the horses.
The truth is that once my riders get in the arena, I probably couldn't tell you what the majority of the disabilities are that we're working with, because I'm teaching them to ride and we're getting these great benefits, and I know what their lesson plan is and I know what they want out of life, but I don't necessarily know what qualifies them to have a disability. I don't know the answer to those questions.
There we go, let's back.
Most of those who are training with horses are very young.
My name is Johnny.
This week will show you how training with horses helps young people like Johnny, as well as older people.
We work with both Fort Bliss and we work with referrals through the Wounded Warrior Project and also referrals through the VA system.
Well, it's very therapeutic for people with PTSD.
We'll also take a look at how the program is therapeutic for combat veterans, as well as why the program is good for the horses too. Every horse here has a story.
For me, when he's quiet, that I kind of get worried and I'm like, okay, something's wrong with him. So overall, his way of acting with me when I'm on him, if he's listening to me when I give him commands.
Tammy says the act of grooming, leading, and moving the horses through a series of obstacles is a learning opportunity that teaches responsibility, self-worth, self-confidence, and compassion.
It works because the horse is a huge motivator for the riders who come out, and it's an emotional experience.
And it also teaches the participants self-control, something all of us could use at times.
Here, they don't charge the clients anything. So all the kids that come out here to get therapy, all the veterans, all the soldiers who come to get therapy, never pay a dime.
So join us tomorrow as we visit with Johnny and Chris to see how horses can help young people overcome challenges. KFOX 14, Carpe Diem.
Good job, Bandit.
Anyone can benefit from therapeutic horsemanship, but the vast majority of those who participate in this kind of riding in El Paso do it in the Upper Valley, and they're very young.
I can tell you that about 55% of my riders are somewhere on the autism spectrum. About 20% of my riders have Down syndrome. I have riders who have cerebral palsy.
I was born with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, and it basically limited my mobility from birth. But this gives me a sense of freedom that is kind of hard to explain to others. Because when I'm on a horse, I feel like I'm in control of most things that I'm normally not able to, like everybody else can.
Christopher is on the path to enormous goals in horse riding. But large or small, every day in horse therapy ends with accomplishment for the individual. And that's because each individual is different.
And then I might have a rider who needs to boost their self-confidence and their self-esteem. And so I'll have a series of small, accomplishable lessons that'll happen within a single hour. And by the time they get off the horse, you know, that self-esteem is right up there.
My name is Johnny.
Johnny is a teenager. He is very aware of everything around him, and due in part to the therapeutic horsemanship, he likes who he is. Johnny went out of his way to look like a superstar for his TV debut, and it appears he feels like a superstar too.
This is very good for Johnny because it helps a lot in mentally and body coordination and to his self-esteem, and it helps a lot to be here in the range with the nature and to be more social with the people.
Each rider has a specific training regimen made just for them, and it's not just the regimen that is specific to the rider.
So this horse has been specifically trained for Chris because he isn't able to ask the horse and cue the horse to go forward using his legs. He's going to have to ask the horse to go forward using a tap to the shoulder or voice commands.
Also, because Chris does not have the use of his legs, he needs special equipment.
When Chris is riding, he's riding in this special saddle, which is also different than we use for Johnny, and that's going to help stabilize him.
Chris is a student at El Paso Community College. He is in his early 20s, and he lives for these lessons.
This is my life. I mean, I think without this, I probably would end up in an institution of some sort. And that's not something I wanted for me.
He also doesn't socialize in the ways a lot of students his age are doing. More and more, he identifies with riding and its challenges.
To me, this is my party. And another reason why I like it is because I've always had a dream of being a competitive Paralympic rider. And that's my goal right now, and that's what I'm doing here with the help of the program.
But though the program is free to its participants, what Chris is trying to do is compete at a national level, something that for him requires custom shoes, a saddle, possibly even a different horse.
So I need help tremendously from the public, from anybody. I even need a sponsor, if that's possible, to help me get through all these things that I want to achieve.
But it's not just young people thriving in therapeutic horsemanship. There are adults who you generally may see no problem with on the surface. That's tomorrow on KFOX 14 Carpe Diem.
We work with both Fort Bliss and we work with referrals through the Wounded Warrior Project and also referrals through the VA system.
Therapeutic Horsemanship of El Paso in the Upper Valley is helping a special breed of people, combat veterans with post-traumatic stress.
Well, it's very therapeutic for people with PTSD, and the horses naturally have PTSD. They live in the wild. A bear or a lion is going to attack them at any moment. So they're skittish. They're skittish around anything that moves.
Many combat veterans return from war wired for hair-trigger reactions. Returning to a sense of steady calm for a combat veteran often requires regaining self-control and a sense of control of the surroundings.
So this is Carlos and Gringo joining up. So Carlos has established that he's the leader in this relationship, and now Gringo is the follower. So wherever Carlos goes, Gringo will follow him.
So when you have PTSD as a human, your mind controls your body, and your mind tells your body to do things that you don't want it to do, and you become skittish. And then you can't be that way with a horse. He won't listen to you.
In horse therapy, not only is the veteran commanding the actions of the horse with very little physical exertion, he is also commanding control over himself to control the situation, something you can clearly see.
You can just walk forward, and then in a second here he'll ask him to trot. And as he asks him to trot, he's going to indicate that he wants speed by raising his hand. He's going to throw his chest out a little bit and just increase the energy that he's holding through his body. And then if he asks for a canter transition, he's really kind of like, he's got a little bit more going on here.
Your body has to behave a certain way for the horse to listen to you. And as your body starts behaving that way, in turn it'll help your mind get away from the boogie monster and your PTSD and certain issues while you're with the horse.
And it turns out the therapy at Therapeutic Horsemanship of El Paso isn't just about the people. Tomorrow we'll show you why the horses here are themselves in need of therapy. KFOX 14 Carpe Diem. It turns out Therapeutic Horsemanship of El Paso isn't all about helping young people with various challenges and veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress.
Horse therapy isn't just good for the human, it's good for the horse. Just ask him.
His ears also see, like right now, he knows I'm talking about him. And I know that because he's turning back and looking at me. So that's the way that I know, okay, he's into the lesson, he's being attentive, he's actually happy.
Christopher is convinced that the horse he rides speaks to him.
There's just this common understanding of my language and his language that we have to kind of match up and check to see where things go good and what works and what doesn't work.
The horses are happy here. Most, if not all, the horses were rescued. Some were walking the longest mile when they were saved to help others.
There's more than one that's a rescue horse, but they're each individuals. They're like people, except they don't talk. So some of them are grumpy, some of them are happy, some of them are really excited all the time.
But you can't remove the fact that despite the communication connection, the horse is still a horse, the person is still a person. But that turns out to be a perfect combination in horse therapy, even for the horse.
He's just going to stay next to the gate where he's comfortable until I reestablish that link with him. And I just do that by showing him that I'm the leader. I may switch direction. I may switch speed.
Tammy Len says the horses want the riders to succeed and lead, and that process is what makes the program a success for both horse and rider.
You know, it depends on the horse. So some of them have had more traumatic experiences than other horses. So being the alpha partner with the horse, getting the horse to do what they're supposed to do, what you want them to do, is therapeutic for them as well. It allows them to relax. It allows them to understand, hey, the lion and the bear is not going to come attack you.
For me, when he's quiet, that I kind of get worried and I'm like, okay, something's wrong with him. So overall, his way of acting with me, when I'm on him, if he's listening to me, when I give him commands.
It is not a process that happens overnight, but it is a process that every day ends with a positive.
Oh, it's so cool. So cool. That was so cool. There's a lot of horse people out there who are going to be like, oh, how did she do that? How did she get her horse to do that? That horse is such a good horse.
How does she do that? Tomorrow is Gear Friday. We'll show you. KFOX 14 Carpe Diem. It's Gear Friday, and we've been out all week learning how horse therapy can be beneficial to everyone, but especially those with both mental and physical challenges. It's convenient for the participants because the stables are easily accessible in the Upper Valley, and it's free.
Not just everyone can just have a horse at their house, and mostly it's because of the cost of all this horsing around gear.
So this is a therapeutic riding saddle. The cost of this saddle is $2,500.
And it's not just the gear and the tack room that adds up.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money. It costs about $15,000 a month, if I'm not mistaken, for the feed and the upkeep and the fuel and all the other costs. And, you know, it doesn't come off the trees. You know, it has to come from somewhere.
The price of hay has gone up dramatically. The price of insurance has gone up. Land itself has gone up. So this program, although it's such a huge benefit to riders, it's expensive to run.
Here, they don't charge the clients anything. So all the kids that come out here to get therapy, all the veterans, all the soldiers who come to get therapy, never pay a dime.
We're not paid to do those lessons. So everything that we're doing with our wounded warriors comes from our fundraising that we raise in-house.
And that's a fact that no matter how difficult it is with only 2 paid employees, makes the work at a horse therapy ranch worth it.
Just keeping horses is expensive. How do you put a price on all this?
You can't. Simply put, to me, you can't put a price on something you love.
Erica Castillo, KFOX 14, Carpe Diem.